Divine Spirit and gracious Creator, we're all here tonight to open ourselves up unconditionally to your divine assistance and continued direction. As well as receiving your healing and guidance, we are fully open and ready to receive and notice signs and blessings. We are truly grateful and thank you. Amen. Please settle your minds and focus on your crown chakra. And when you are ready, open it for Spirit to supply you with its source of energy. As it enters your crown chakra, allow it to rebalance all your chakras, starting with the crown chakra, moving on to the brow chakra, down to the throat chakra, then on to the heart chakra, working its way down to the solar plexus chakra, further down to the sacral chakra, and down to the root chakra. Allow the spirit energy source to visit all your minor chakras to maximize our potential in this circle. Let the energy settle in your body. And when you are ready, move your focus back to your heart chakra and start linking with all other members of this circle unconditionally. Set your intentions on the task we agreed, please, to maximize our ability to make the links to spirit that we need to achieve. We have come together on the earth plane with the purpose of receiving answers to our questions from our spirit guides and advisors that are happy to link with us. I would like to start by introducing members of our circle here tonight. My name is Neil, and with me today is Pam, Adrian, and Donna. I would like to welcome all members of the Spirit Circle and thank you for believing in us. As we try to lift our energy levels sufficiently to enable you to bridge and make contact through our mediums, we are focused on offering you the opportunity to link through us. Please link directly through your choice of medium. And if you are happy to, link through another medium at the same time as another soul from spirit does so. Please do. Where possible, we'd respectfully appreciate confirmation that we have achieved a successful link through either a sense of doing so or even more grateful to hear the spoken word itself. As we try to lift our energy levels in our own circle, with the help of our own guides and others in spirit, we look forward to making the connection to the spirit circle. We have achieved that. Could you please confirm when you are ready for me to put questions to you, please?
Just a few more moments. Imagine the flame getting stronger. Good evening to you all.
Good evening and welcome.
Thank you. You have blended quite well tonight for the small circle that has come.
Mm.
Please, those that have something to say, do not be afraid to say it.
Is it okay to start asking questions or do you need more time?
No, your energy has come to a level that we can all enjoy.
Good, I'm pleased about that. Thank you. Do you have a name that you wish to go by tonight?
My name is Dahal.
Dahal.
Dahal, yes.
Thank you. I'm sure you know my name. My name is Neil.
Yes, Neil. It's lovely to meet you.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Now, as you probably know, we do raise a series of questions and it can go all over the place. Is that okay?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
This is why many of us come. It is great to come and interact and not just give prophecy.
We seem to enjoy that as well, but as long as I said, you're happy to carry on that basis. So let's see. Okay. Last week, Penny in Spirit said she resides on a 19th century plane. So does that suggest that Spirit gets a choice of their home base in Spirit?
We can choose to hold on to a time that we once lived. We do not necessarily move through the time, as you would say.
Yeah.
but Penny wanted to bring through the time. What she explained, it wasn't necessarily the most joyous of lives, if you remember.
I do, yeah.
But it's a time that was fond in her memory to her lessons and her journey.
So going on from that, when she's obviously remembering that and creating that in spirit, do all the other souls connected to it come forward into that plane? If that makes sense.
You mean in like inviting somebody into your home?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. That can be done. Like, that's how some of us can do to help our journey.
So is that like creating a virtual reality around yourself?
Yes, like sometimes some of us describe when we go to our lessons, some of us would see your going self into, say, one of the great Greek halls or buildings as the library. Others might see it as going into a library on a ship.
So in a way, it's memory induced. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, because we can portray what we wish.
Okay.
It also is a way to connect, to remember, to enjoy. And some of those that have not lived, maybe in that time, get to see different styles of clothing, speech, attitudes.
So it's coming over like a visual exchange of memories for others. Yeah. I like the sound of that.
We don't all float around shooting around from planet to planet in space. As beautiful as that is, it is nice to, like we say, virtual reality.
I suppose another way of putting it is horses for courses, but no, I do like that. The sound of that. Okay. Changing tack completely. When you connect by using our bodies, is your choice of vocabulary limited to the vocabulary used by the human vessel?
Do you mean as we've connected this evening?
Yeah.
Yes, because my native tongue, Adrian would not understand.
No.
So we use his vocabulary and what he knows.
Yeah.
This is why sometimes you see that when he speaks and we speak through him, you sometimes do not notice a difference.
No, that's right. I mean, I raised the question because through one of the other mediums previously, who's not here tonight, when people say a certain word, it's the way she says that word, so it stands out.
Yes, it is.
And that's what made me question.
It is energy efficient.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, a good reason for that.
If we use what's already there, we do not need to program for the time we are here.
Yep. Good.
We can stay here longer.
Oh, good. Yeah, another good reason.
Because both of our energies aren't working hard.
Okay, thank you. That makes sense to me. Might sound a silly question, but why is spirit multitasking and not concentrating on one thing at a time?
Do you mean on an individual basis, Neil?
Well, we've previously been told that spirit can obviously be in a variety of locations at the same time. Now, I know there's not time in spirit, but that's probably what I mean by multitasking, that you can be here, there, and everywhere and share yourself about. Is that perception correct?
Yes, that is a multitask, yes. Like
Okay.
I am with you here tonight, but
Yeah.
I am also elsewhere, shall we say.
Yeah.
I have another part of me.
And presumably, this is also how you can be doing whatever you've got to do in spirit, and you can be with loved ones that need comfort, who are still living. You can be overseeing them at the same time.
Yes, keep
Good.
an eye on the family.
Yeah, it's very rewarding. Okay, thank you to hear that.
But also, when you think of you call them the archangels, like Gabriel and Michael.
Yeah.
Just as examples, there are many. They can be all over at once.
Yeah. Okay. I've heard that before too. Okay.
Every time somebody calls a prayer to them, it is heard. So that with many prayers at a time, they can hear them individually without them all getting mixed into one.
Yeah. Would that be similar then in terms of when I call for spiritual healing for a list that I do regularly, that those prayers are always heard?
Yes, they are.
Good.
Yes, it is almost the same.
Yeah. When you were last on Earth, Dal, what was your last life, time, and place?
Please do not think me rude, but the year is beyond what you know.
Okay.
At the time, let's just say I was there to help set up. Yes, I will say that. To set up civilization.
Okay.
I have lived physical lives. But my experience and expertise lies elsewhere.
Okay.
So it has been wonderful to join with you tonight. It has been a while to join like this.
Well, thank you for making space for us,
we'll always make the effort to be where we can, when we can.
So in terms of being involved with setting up civilizations, how would you describe how it has developed on the Earth plane, and have we overcome and moved and improved in any degree to what you envisage?
There have been many achievements made this time, but unfortunately, some of the base ideals have been lost with the enjoyment of life.
Yeah.
Technology for this period and time has surpassed others in certain ways.
Yeah,
with how you live your daily lives.
Yeah.
And there are certainly a lot more of you than what has previously been on the planet. But there have been many benefits to this, with how you can travel around the planet. Whereas previous civilizations were unable to do this. It is wonderful to watch, but can be frustrating at times.
I suppose at my age, that's how I can see things even from when we didn't have technology, when we've got technology, but the price that's been paid for those.
Yes, the art of communication.
Yeah.
Needs to revert, in my opinion.
I mean, one of my questions, put in a slightly different way, which is similar, I suppose, it was, is it simple things for simple minds, or have we lost the plot by overcomplicating our lives?
For me, it has been overcomplicating.
Yeah.
There is an art, and the connection is great, or greater to talk face to face. But how you're doing your talking tonight is another wonderful invention, because none of you are anywhere close by each other. You could not just open your door, walk out of your house and down the street to communicate. You are many miles apart, but yet you are together. And without this, you'd have never met.
That's absolutely right. I mean, in some ways, the COVID virus has encouraged, I suppose, massive use of this technology, not just for what we're doing, but to help quite a lot of people who are struggling keep control of their senses by at least having a form of communication.
Yes.
But it's like everything else, it's getting the right balance. You know. Okay.
Hopefully, the younger generation will change and see.
I'm always accused of seeing too many positives, but the younger generation I come into contact with, I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. with their openness, with their caring attitudes. There's something natural that they're bringing, certainly in the world I live in.
Yes, the world is getting closer, and more open to differences between you all.
Yeah.
Between your colours, your religions.
Absolutely.
Your communities. They are all being more accepted and not to be judged upon.
Yeah. There's far more tolerance. Yeah, I agree. But in general, are there too many souls on the earth plane now? Have we got too many here?
You might see it like this. And yes, there are an awful lot of you. But the earth is a big place. And unfortunately, with the circle of life, things are in place that for one reason or another help keep the balance. As the earth has its own ways of dealing with this as well.
Yeah. Okay.
But this is why, as a soul, the earth is a good place to experience life. But it is challenging.
Have spirit taken the decision to reincarnate some older souls to help bring the balance, that you've described that we need to achieve?
There is always a cycle.
Yeah.
And we encourage those that haven't been to the earth to come. And for those that have been on the earth many times, to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
But some people just like home, so they just will return until it gets to the point that there can be no more lessons.
Yeah.
Or their journey takes a different path for them.
I mean, there is a human trait that applies to many people because they don't like change. So can that be true in spirit as well?
It can be, because it can be impressed on in the life or lives you lead.
Yeah.
But when you get into spirit, it can be, I say shed, but the freedom you have is different.
Okay.
So the pull while you're on the earth, not for change, or is different. There will be a new excitement when you get to spirit, once you have had your review of that particular life.
Okay.
And rebalanced, if that was necessary.
Okay. Slightly different question, but hopefully, as the COVID virus finds a less threatening level to human life, what does Spirit hope we learn from our restrictions during the lockdowns that we have been subjected to?
To be closer to one another, to love, to consider and be considerate to others. This can be seen now. There is a bigger interest in us, in spirit.
Yeah, we've noticed that.
The mindfulness with the meditations and the connections. People going into nature, taking walks who would not normally would have walked, or now walked to work or to the shop rather than jump in their vehicles. So this hopefully will carry on, and with less life lost.
Yeah. Maybe it's a lesson. Yeah, maybe it's a lesson we had to learn. But I endorse, I've actually seen families get closer together, friends get close together.
It is great to see, but it is sad to lose those ones that have been close to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
These questions are deep, Neil.
I'm known for my deep questions, I'm afraid.
It is good. Do not change.
I suppose this is for my benefit, really, but I try and ask some questions which are aimed to develop curiosity from people around me. But sometimes I wonder if I'm risking anything by doing it, say, within the group.
No. People would be too naive to look at it that way.
Yeah.
You ask the questions. Yes, you put them together. But you also help to put those questions together.
Yeah.
To encourage other people to watch, to talk about, to open people's minds.
Yes, that's what I try to do, but I'm not saying it always works. But
no, yes. But those that watch that might get or take some offence just need to have a little look into themselves first, and just be open to the question that's answered and the answer that's given. Because it's all from love. There is no malice in any of it.
Thank you for confirming that. That helps me. Okay, good. In the past, I don't know where, I can't remember where it came up, but Spirit implied they work at trying to make sure no more world wars happen. What do you do in Spirit to actually try and achieve that objective? How do you do it?
We have to do this through It's like the little thought that you get within from, we'll say, your higher self, that little voice.
Yeah.
We do it through that, through inspiration, maybe through people's writings, poems, stories, through music, because it is all shared. And as the earth gets older with your populations, the young ones, their views are different. They do not want war. So the influence is like drip fed into many places most of the time. So it is a constant for those minds that do not wish to be peaceful. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It does.
I wanted to put it simply without being too.
Yeah, no, it does. As I said, I find it, how can I put this? Reassuring what I see from youngsters' opinions. I find it refreshing because there's obviously, maybe they're older souls, I don't know, but they just seem to have a natural approach to life. Something's coming back, something's changing. That's all I feel. That's the only way I can describe it, which is good and positive.
There are a lot of older souls that have come back into the younger generations.
Yeah.
These souls have lived wars, died in wars. And as much as in some times it advances civilization, the loss is unimaginable for no reason.
Yeah.
So this is why you sometimes see a lot of younger children that necessarily do not listen to their parents or grandparents. We think they have a bit of back chat sometimes. I see them. This is because they are an older soul.
Yeah.
This will be their character.
But that doesn't mean, they can't contribute, does it?
No, they contribute in a big way.
Mm.
Because as much as they can't remember as the child,
yeah,
you can see when you talk to those small ones that they have a different understanding to some others of the same age.
Yeah. Okay.
You'll be able to spot them apart.
Mm.
Even within families who have children at the same time. You will see the older soul over the new soul.
Yeah, okay, I agree with you there. I know you think my questions are deep, but this one is going to go pretty deep. Our understanding is that within the human vessel, there are two selves, the human and the higher, which is the spirit soul. And if I've got it right, the spirit soul's objective is to influence and guide the human personality to keep them on the right track. But as the human, okay, but as the human self has the divine right to take its own decisions, when it chooses to carry out evil acts, I'm presuming the human soul is responsible for such actions, and the higher self or spirit soul cannot be held responsible for the human soul doing such things. Is that my correct way of looking at it?
Yes. It is. The higher self is there to guide, to encourage, but not control. So the human spirit has the free will,
Yeah.
can only be guided, as anybody can be guided.
Okay.
You can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Make it drink, yeah, okay. But the reason for me setting that scenario, I suppose leading on from that question, is when the human vessel dies, does the human spirit die with it? And it's only the higher self or soul that returns the spirit. Is that the case?
No, it doesn't. The soul, the spirit is held within that soul.
Okay.
As one of its lives.
All right, okay.
It is very difficult in a sense to explain it properly. But this is where, if something drastic has happened,
yeah,
like the taking of a life or more or worse,
yeah,
it's almost like you have to extract the emotion, the feeling to deal with that. Because this is why we learn. But do you know what you're taking on when you choose a life? But you always have hope that you can change it for the better. But sometimes you can't.
I understand that, but I suppose a point of questioning that happens all the time is human personalities, let's say, don't always understand why there is no punishment for such evil acts in spirit, which is what we've been told.
There is, I don't like to use the word punishment, but
okay,
their act has to be recognized. They need to understand. Yes, it's quite hard for me to answer this because I have not lived on the earth for a very long time. But my understanding is that there is action taken when this happens.
Okay. But are there some situations where, let's put it like this, until that soul accepts the error of their ways, are there situations where they could be kept in isolation?
Yes, you could call it isolation, but yes, it is kept in a place of.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
for the answer to the question, yes, we will call it isolation. Yeah. But yes, it
so
hasn't
in a
got
way,
the full freedom it would normally have.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Yeah. Yeah.
Under supervision, should we say?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's even better. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Well, hopefully, I would say, although it's the wrong word again, that in itself could be a punishment,
Yes, to lose your freedom.
Yeah. To use a word that, let's say, human beings wouldn't maybe understand. Okay. Thank you. It was a bit of unfinished business there by asking that question. So good. Okay, let's try something else. Okay. I think it's come out when I was asking some historical questions previously, but what energy properties does gold have that we haven't recognized yet, or when will we?
There are many properties of gold, of which general population only know part.
Okay.
There are some properties yet to be refined. I won't say be discovered, but I'd say be refined.
Okay.
Within it. But it is very valuable. Not in the monetary terms of your planet.
No.
But in its mineral state. Its base form.
Is that yet to be discovered by our scientists?
Yes.
Or is it?
Yes.
Or is it another thing that's being hidden from us? That's what I mean.
Yes,
because of people's greed.
As I said, in the general population.
Yeah.
You see it as a conductor, jewelry.
Yeah.
Obviously, use in your technologies.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. In spirit, who grades the spirit's development? We would talk about learning continues, development continues, but who actually does the grading? Decide when a spirit can move on to, say, the next level, whatever the next level is.
There's two ways to answer this. One is within yourself.
Okay.
If you are ready to move up,
right,
and your guides and teachers recognize this, then you will move up. There are no, I suppose you could say there are tests, but not to the point as a human would notice the test.
Yeah. Okay. But how many development levels are there in spirit, in terms of maturing, let's say that. I use that word.
If you went on specifics, there are many. but I would say there are 7 basic forms without getting into the nitty-gritty of it all. But your destiny is held within your own self. You can go as far as you wish, or stay where you are happy.
How do we know where we want to be?
Again, that is within yourself. I know where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Where I was happy. Most of the, well, you say time, but where you're happy, you know that what you do excites you each time and every time you do it.
Yeah.
When it gets to the point that you no longer feel that, or feel that you are making a difference, or feeling that you are gaining, in my case, then it is time to take a different path.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I'm not being disrespectful, but you may choose not to answer this, but do spirit always tell us the truth?
Yes. If we cannot answer truthfully, there is no point in answering.
Okay. I know sometimes there's been a feeling that some of the questions we've asked, elders may have decided that that's not the right time for us to receive an answer, and they've made that clear. So they're not lying there, and they're just making the decision for our benefit.
At that time, yes.
And we accept that, isn't it? I don't have a problem with that at all. Okay, thank you.
Sometimes when we answer, it will be truthful.
Yeah.
There might be something in there that you might think they've been sneaky. But we will let you. We try to give the answer as best we can.
Yeah. No, we do. When we're talking, we do recognize, using your words, you've been sneaky. But we do seem to subsequently realize why that's happened, because after it, it makes us reflect, it makes us discuss, and it makes us rethink it. So again, I can't find that negative at all.
Yes, there's no point in.
Just makes us work a little bit harder sometimes.
Sometimes if we have banter and jokes, then yes, there might be a little
sure.
deviation from the truth. But
you know, we have that within our own group as well, and it's banter, and you need banter sometimes to lighten the discussion and get you back on track. So,
but when it has come to a serious question,
yeah,
the only way is to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Or don't answer.
Thank you. Yeah, that's right. Fine. Okay. When we return to spirit after living a life on the earth plane, and at the point of going back to spirit, from spirit's from a spirit view, do we return virtually? Because time doesn't exist in spirit. Does that mean we return virtually a moment after we left it in the first place, if you understand what I mean?
So did I hear you correctly? So when you say you pass in the human life,
yeah, we make a decision to leave spirit and come and have a life on earth.
Yes.
We have our life, which let's just say could be in earth terms 60 years, 70 years. And we pass and we go back to spirit. We've been told, obviously, time doesn't exist in spirit. So we're virtually going back just after the moment we left to come and start that life. Conceptually.
Yes, in a sense. But it depends on whether you've because you're always, how do I answer this? Because there's no concept of time.
Yeah.
It is so difficult to Yes, you could perceive it as that, Neil. Yes, it could be perceived that way.
I suppose it's
a human point of view. It is, yes.
I suppose it's a bit like if you leave your friends behind in spirit to come and have a life, and for some reason they're not coming with you. When you return, there's a very little gap between when you last saw them and when you saw them again. I suppose that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yes, it can be that way, yes.
Okay.
But the time you are gone, you are sorely missed.
Okay. Right. Okay, good. As I said, that's reassuring as well. So, okay. But leading on from that, I mean, it's probably taking it too far, but if time doesn't exist in spirit, why do some souls select a shorter lifespan on the earth plane? You know, why is it relevant for them to only come and live and then pass in their childhood, for instance? Why don't they just have a fuller life with more experiences?
Sometimes we do this. I say we, I have not done this for a very long time, but sometimes we do this to help other souls.
Okay, yeah,
to grow.
Okay. Excuse me.
So maybe a soul may take the life of a newborn, but knowing that it may be a miscarriage or leaves shortly after being born.
Yeah.
This is all to do with the journey of the other lives that it is involved or connected with.
So in a way, they've come to play their part in some other soul's pathway.
Yes, journey, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes it's just to help, and sometimes it is also just to experience what that would be like.
Okay.
As much as it sounds very cruel and I can't even say the word, but yes, from a human point of view,
I mean, personally,
it's very upsetting and very meaningless.
I don't see it as cruel because I've had that situation within my family, as you probably know. So, but as time moves on, I think it's fair to say everyone involved realizes there was some sort of purpose to having that experience. But you don't always know why, but you do if you're being honest with yourself.
Yes, it is a very busy place, life on Earth.
Okay.
In all manners of, whether it's a human or an animal or a bird.
Absolutely. Okay. On the earth plane, why are some people's gut instincts so off course? You know, we obviously know people that we come across, and when they explain certain things, you think you don't understand how they made a decision based on what they're describing, and you think, well, I wouldn't have done that at all. But it's so variable. That's probably what I'm trying to ask.
It is all to do with the, how can I say, ego, the human mind is too busy, could be a very depressed, you call it depressed state of mind, and it's not listening or feeling that gut instinct.
Yeah.
The only way I could describe it. It is also different at their different parts of their lives. Maybe as a child, their gut instinct was very good. But for some experience, they've stopped listening to it, or life's taken them down a different path.
Okay. Yeah.
So they can't tune into it, reconnect with it. It might take another experience for it, or advice from others to help realign. But this is also to do with the soul that is within as well.
Okay. But in terms, I suppose, going on from ego, what you mentioned ego, but what is healthy or positive about competition?
There are many lessons to be learned from competition. Competition, even with yourself, doesn't need to be with others. To push yourself to the next level. To take a turn where maybe if you didn't, life would be different. Competition is very valuable, but it is when the ego takes over and winning is all that it is not good.
I mean, I've seen examples for and against. That's why I asked that question. You know,
It is a good thing to challenge yourself.
Yeah.
Which is another form of your competition, but the negatives are if you keep going you sometimes do not learn.
Yeah. Is that similar then when we, I suppose, we get challenged and get taken out of our comfort zone?
Yes.
Okay.
In a way. The challenge is there, like the competition. Am I going to win, or am I going to let them win?
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
let it win?
What happens when we overtax our brains?
Human brain.
Yeah.
It's hardly used at this point in the evolution. It will never be overtaxed. There's so much for it to be programmed to be used. It is too big at the moment, really, in some ways, because what is used of it, you could get rid of some for all your general duties and your memory. There is plenty of memory left, shall we say, if you compared it to your computers.
Yeah. Okay. I understand that. What should we actually do to make more use of it, or how should we feed our brains, if that's another way of putting it?
Relax. Try is relaxation whilst learning. Do not force things to go in. Let them naturally go in. Take fresh air. Sit with others. Sit with yourself. Take your time. Do not cram it. When you see those on earth that are which you would perceive as very clever, it is how they have evolved when they have learned things.
Okay.
Get a better understanding of the core before adding the branches and the leaves when learning. Like a tree, give it a strong foundation.
I mean, what you're saying is learn to walk before you run, I suppose.
Yes.
Mm.
Some people will clear their minds to learn a particular thing, but then they may not know lots of things. It all depends. and what you wish. Keep it simple. Do not overcomplicate.
Okay. Again, a different change, but is showing compassion ever not justified?
In my opinion, no. It is always justified to show compassion.
Okay. How would you see what the most important wake-up call for human souls at this time is? You know, as we live at the minute.
Could you say that again, please, Neil?
Yeah. What's the most important wake-up call for human souls living on the earth plane at this time?
Believe
Generally.
in yourself.
Okay.
You must believe in yourselves. Too many influences from others.
Yeah.
Love yourself. Look after yourself. Set your boundaries. And be honest with yourself.
It's interesting that you've said that, because one of the things I say to others is be honest with yourself. Because if you can't be honest with other people. Thank you.
You're very knowledgeable, Neil.
Don't always feel it.
If you don't mind, I'll have to leave.
Okay, thank you.
Getting
I'm
weak
just,
now.
yeah,
Okay.
just so pleased and so thankful that you came through and you were able to answer so many questions. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. Thank you very much to you all. Hope to see you again.
Yeah, we'd love to. Have a safe journey. Time for us now to finish today's question and answer session. We would like to thank Spirit for being here to guide us and working directly with us. That includes our personal guides for their ongoing support and the additional advisors that have joined us here today to give us the benefit of their wisdom. Thank you for your continued support, which we all fully appreciate and value. We look forward to linking up again with you next time. Before we close the link, we hope you don't mind us spending a few minutes of our time exploring our personal direct links with Spirit. 2 to 3 minutes, everyone, until I call you back into the room. Time now to refocus on your crown chakras, please. And as and when you have, close it down to break your link with spirit. Move any residual energy you don't need down from your crown chakra to your brown chakra, onto the throat chakra, and then to your heart chakra. Take it further down to your solar plexus chakra, along to your sacral chakra. Carry on down to your onto your root chakra. Allow this surplus energy to move down through your legs and body to your feet. And ground yourself on Mother Earth, please. When you are sufficiently grounded and in your own time, gently and slowly bring your attention back into the room.